thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cyndi O'Meara, Carren Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Carren Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cyndi O'Meara.
And welcome back. Here we are with part 2 of the amazing interview with the inspiring Jess Ainscough. Make sure you listen to every nugget of gold she's about to drop because it's so worth it.
You had a defining moment. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but you had a defining moment where you were doing things because you were fearful.
Yes.
And then why did you change to you were doing things because that's what you love to do now?
Yeah.
And that was the respect you needed.
Yeah. So this has been a big part of my journey.
Yeah.
And it changed for me when I interviewed a lady named Anita Morjani, who's got a book called Dying to Be Me. And
We've heard someone talk about that
all the time. She is...
She's amazing.
She's amazing. She's my favourite spiritual teacher. I love her. So I had the pleasure of interviewing her just soon after her book came out. I got in early and I was very blessed to be able to speak to her. And one of the things that she said to me was that, because we spoke at the end of the interview about how I was doing Gerson therapy and how I had cancer, and she said to me, you need to stop doing everything that you're doing out of a fear of dying, because what you're doing is not going to lead to health. You need to start doing the things that you're doing out of a love for your life and a love for yourself. And that's when everything changed. And I thought, shit, I am doing all of this because I'm scared of dying. I'd never admitted that to myself before, but it made me realize that I really was. And after that, I mean, it didn't happen instantly, but that's what I've been working towards ever since. And now, I mean, I eat healthy food, not because I'm scared of what will happen if I don't do it. I do it because it makes me feel so freaking good. And I'm like, in the beginning I was meditating because I was scared of what would happen if I didn't meditate, because I thought I've got to meditate 3 hours a day and that's what's going to get me well.
It's such a different it's such a different concept and a different way of relating to your life and the things that you do in your life. And I remember, Jess, when you had that flick switched.
Do you?
Flick switch? Flick switch?
The switch flicked?
I remember when you did that, and I remember us even having a conversation in my lounge room because you were about to speak for a group, and we were creating the presentation, and we came up with, oh my goodness, I remember this. We came up with End the War Within.
Yeah.
Well, you came up with End the War Within, and then we worked on creating a presentation that was all about how you can be at peace with yourself, not because you don't want to be at war, but you be at peace with yourself because you want to be at peace with yourself. Because being at peace with yourself feels better than being at peace with yourself because you don't want to be at war.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a very, it's a
subtle
very...
but massive.
Yeah. Massive. And it was such a huge inspiration for me then, as it continues to be for me, every time I see you. Talk us through that shift in perspective, because I think, it, like you say, Kim, it's very subtle, but it's actually massive, and it's the juice that fuels the fire now, and you can see it in everything that you've gone on to create, in all of the success that comes your way, and it comes your way with relative ease. With all of the magic that you create when you stand in front of a live audience. It's palpable. You can actually see it. So, talk us through that perspective shift and what that meant to you. I know Anita Morjani was the beginning of it, but what did that mean to you? How did you go from being at war to being cool with being at peace? Like, how did you transition?
It's been a gradual transition. I mean, the light bulb went off in that moment. But it didn't change straight away. I mean, I was still doing Gerson therapy. I was still very regimented in everything I was doing. And there was still an element in my mind that thought, if I stop doing everything I'm doing, the cancer won't go away. And so there was still that driving force behind it.
So there was a fear.
There was a fear, yeah. There was a fear because I was doing so much. I had like this my morning routine was epic. I used to get up so early and do all of these things because I thought, okay, if I do all of these things, that's going to get me well. But really, I mean, the thing that's going to get me well is inside of me. It's not all these things that I'm doing. They're just helping me get there and helping me to peel back the layers. So that's it. And it's still continuing to do that. I mean, if people read my blog, they can see the unraveling that I'm going through because I've kind of released attachment to my routine. I've released attachment to my diet. I'm starting to eat different things now, and oh gosh, experimenting with the fear that comes up through that. I mean, eating eggs was a big step for me because I was thought, okay, eggs, animal protein causes cancer. That's what I thought in my mind, but my body was craving it. So I'm learning to listen to my body's intuition rather than an expert or something that I've read in a book. And that's a big thing.
But let's talk about the quality of the eggs you ate, because that was really important.
Yes, absolutely. The quality of my food is the most important thing to me, above anything else. I always say to people, you've got to eat real food. Well, you don't got to, but you should be eating real food and organic food. And the eggs that I eat come from the chickens in my backyard.
And she lives in town, just so everybody knows.
Yes. And I live by the beach.
Yeah.
And I just want, if Matt ever listens to this, and hopefully he does, because I so want my own chickens. Not because I want the eggs, I just want to play with the chickens.
You give the eggs to chickens.
I would give you the...
You're scared of the chicken.
Terrified of them.
They cornered her and she calls out to Talon, and Talon had to come and save her from her 3 chickens.
Oh, don't you sit there laughing when you rang Matt to come home and get a bumblebee out of your house.
Or a gecko off your head.
Well, it's not about me right now, is it?
When the chickens are really hungry, I don't go near them because they come at me. I did it again the other day. I thought, okay, no, we're getting there. I walked down there.
Becoming friends?
Yeah, I walked down there and then all 3 of them just started attacking me.
So
I ran away.
You ran away.
I ran away. Came back up there.
Day.
I said, Talon, come help me.
You have to get a video of this. Talon has to get a video of this. This is so
Well,
cute.
the kind of is, I did a chicken video last week and we spoke about raising chickens, and the bloopers reel was like 3 times as long as the actual video. So funny. They put me off my game big time. I thought if Carren was here to see this, she'd be ashamed.
I would have been wetting my
How unprofessional I was shooting this video.
I would have been wetting
All to get a couple of eggs every morning. This is what she goes through.
But I want the best quality eggs. I
And the
can't-
freshest.
Yeah, the freshest eggs. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me.
Are they happy hens
They're
then?
such happy hens. They've got
So
the
maybe
best
they're not
life.
attacking you, sweet pea. Maybe we need a new perspective on
I
this.
don't think they are attacking. Chickens are just like, they come up and they just like little peck at you. They don't hurt.
I'm terrified of birds.
You're so funny.
Chickens are birds. I didn't realise that till I got them.
Yeah.
It's like Miss Carren here.
Special needs, really.
Yes, she has special needs. Like, she loves animals. But we were talking about green tree frogs the other day.
Oh, God.
And she's freaking. Look, there you go. She's freaking.
Something just flew into my head.
No, it was a piece of your hair fell down, sweet pea. It was just your fringe.
Stop it. Back to Jess.
I love animals, but birds just freak me out.
I think that's hysterically funny. So, but anyway,
Yes.
so back to you. So you've gone big.
So
He thinks it's funny.
They're laughing at me.
She's just seen her.
With geckos and frogs.
Well, a gecko fell on my forehead. It fell on my forehead. I opened the back door, the fly screen, and it fell on my forehead with this little suction feet, and I nearly had a heart attack.
Well, I have to say, and we're laughing, but if
that happened to me, I'd
if a
freak
gecko
out.
fell on my head, I'd freak too. Actually,
Yeah.
my grandmother was staying with me one day, and we had builders all next door, and I felt a tickle. I felt like there was a thread from my bra under my top. Anyway, and I looked, I kind of, and it moved, and threads don't kind of go upwards. Threads don't move.
I
up.
would die.
And I pulled out my top and looked down, and there was a black spider in my top. No. I ran like a Banshee Indian outside, took my top off, my pants off, everything off except my bra and knickers, and I was doing like a rain dance. And these 4 men on the roof thought it was so funny. They clapped and cheered and all that sort of thing. So I think I will forgive you on the gecko on the head. I will. But a bumblebee ringing your husband to come and pick you up because there's a bumblebee in your office? I mean, really?
A bee flew into my office yesterday that was bigger than me. It was.
And she's put it on Facebook.
It was bigger than me, and I put a message on Facebook and I said, Matt, you have to come home to get it. This thing was bigger than me. I don't know what you people are looking at. Do you know, I covered it with a salad bowl. Just that it would be there for Matt to get when he got home. It was that big. I had to go in a salad bowl.
So can I just ask you, Jess, have we cured you of your chicken issue? Because now that you've heard about the bee issue, I think we can safely say chickens are your friends. In fact, that should be up on your blackboard.
Chickens are my friends.
They're very quiet.
They're asleep at the moment.
Do they cackle and carry on during the day?
Yep, they cackle when they lay an egg. We know when they lay an egg. Oh, that's Edie. She cackles as well.
Edie's the other dog. It's quite a family affair.
Listen to them.
And it's got amber beads on.
Yeah, she's got amber beads.
Is that for help with pain?
To help with her skin.
Oh my gosh, does it work?
Helps with
I don't know,
eczema,
she just got them the
psoriasis.
other day.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that on Jet.
Yeah,
Jet
you
has terrible
should.
skin.
She likes them. Kind of makes her look wise.
Makes her look hippie.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of a hippie.
Like a
So,
monk.
Jess, where are you at now?
Yeah, here we go.
What's
Back
happening
to
with you
Jess.
here and now. What's your goals? What's your mission? Where are you at? I just want to say when I first really met you was up in Cairns, and we spoke together at a big wellness event. Had a ball.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the things that kind of shocked me, and I kind of want to bring it up because it freaks me out a little bit that people can do this to people.
Yes.
You told me about a group of doctors that created a Facebook page saying Jess Ainscough will die.
Yes. Well, not a Facebook page, a blog.
Oh, a blog, was it?
Yes.
A blog.
I don't know what they're doctors, but they're just science people.
Right. So when you said that to me, I couldn't believe it that people would do that. We were talking about criticism before we did the blog and how well, and obviously just but before we did the podcast, and how much you've stepped up and you've started to learn a resilience of that. So just tell me how you coped with that and then into where you are here and now.
Yeah, I mean, back then, it hurt a lot more than it does now. I mean, I've definitely built up a tolerance to it, and I'm more resilient. I can bounce back from criticism pretty quickly. I mean, in the moment, it still stings because nobody likes to be criticised.
Actually, that's more than criticism. That is just that's nasty.
It is nasty.
Outright rudeness
and it was it was just so false. I mean,
And savage. Imagine starting something like that. That's savage.
yeah.
Has it made you more aware of how you are as a person when people are like that? Does it make you more aware, of kindness and compassion?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for people
Judgment?
to be able to, that's it. That's a big thing that I've really learned. I thought, well, okay, if people are judging me in that way, where am I judging people? And it's made me look at things like that. So I definitely am more kind and more compassionate and less judgmental towards people, or I try to be. And I've also learned a lot through my critics as well. I mean, I don't read all of the criticism. I read some of it to try and see if there's an element of truth, and if there is an element of truth, I try and learn something from it because I always.
And you still get criticised today?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, I get criticised for the silliest things. I mean, I bought my little French bulldog.
I know.
It's the cutest thing in the whole wide world, and I got criticised for not getting a rescue dog.
For going to a breeder.
Yeah, because I bought him from a breeder.
I read it and I was thinking, where do you people come
Is this
from?
the tall poppy thing, isn't it, really? Once you become more and more known?
I think it is. I think once you've got a profile,
it's a given.
And then people start to think that you become a target.
Yeah.
And they also disassociate from the reality that the person actually is.
Yes.
And hide behind a screen of Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
They would
faceless
never do it face to face.
Can I just be the devil's advocate here, though? So for people who really are passionate about rescue dogs, and that there are a lot of dogs, there are a lot of dogs out there, and so that's their passion, and they're just wondering, they believe in Jess maybe. They believe in what she's doing, and they don't understand why she would buy a dog, but that's not your passion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
exactly
yours.
Right. Yeah.
And I just think that because I read them and I started to think. I tried not to judge, you know. I do try not to judge, although some people I do judge, as you know. We had a little bit of it.
Some people need to be very afraid. I'm just putting that out. They shall remain nameless
For now.
Maybe.
With the initials.
No names mentioned, but
Anyway, I try not to be. I really do. For people like that I see it for the first time and I think, okay, I get where you're coming from. If I can see where they're coming from, I really, you try. You really try. It's hard.
Well, you may not necessarily agree with them, but you don't attach to the pain that
they're feeling.
they're feeling. Yeah.
And also what you both have to remember, probably you too, Carren, when you've got such a following, you're actually role modelling to other people how to behave. I always think that how you respond, your followers are watching how you respond as well.
Totally. And most of the time I ignore the criticism.
Yeah.
Totally don't respond to it at all. If they're saying something in a respectful way, if they're concerned about something, if they're genuinely like part of my tribe, they're not just trolling, then I'll respond. And I've actually formed some great relationships with people who have criticised me or just brought up some things that they're not happy about, and then I've responded. And it reminds them that I'm a human being and I'm not some faceless thing behind a computer. I respect their criticism. I say thank you for it. Thank you for bringing this up. I'm glad you did, like taking the time to write to me. But only if it's done in a respectful way. If they're just calling me names and saying stuff that's not constructive at all, then I delete or ignore, depending on how brutal it is.
I loved Chef Pete Evans. I was listening to him speak, and he says, I love that on Facebook that you can ban and delete. He says, I'm not interested in people that don't want to follow. Go follow somebody else that you enjoy. You know, there are people. He's got like 150,000 on his Facebook, and these are people who are genuinely wanting to learn from Pete Evans. And yes, respectfully, if he does something, or you do something, or we do something that they want to question, I'm all up for it. I agree with you, Jess. I think ban and delete's a good thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. So where are you at now? So what's the Jess Ainscough business? What's the Jess Ainscough message? What's your plan, your intention, your purpose?
Well, I think it's shifted a little bit recently. I mean, in the past I was, as I said, very attached to my rules that I'd given myself when it comes to food and my regime, and I thought things had to be done a certain way. And I'm moving into an area now where it's definitely less focused on rules and less focused on regime and more focused on just being super kind to myself and I'm going into an area of like listening to what my soul wants and adding more joy into my life every day. I mean, that's my thing. I start my day by journaling what will bring me the most joy today, and I make sure that I do it. As most people know, I lost my mum at the end of last year, and that was a big wake-up call for me. I mean, it was horrible and something I'm still coming to terms with, but it was a big wake-up call for me that I need to spend whatever amount of time I have in this world living life to its fullest. Like, it's a cliche, but I mean, it was such a big wake-up call. I can't keep living my life out of fear. I can't keep living my life determined by a disease that my body may have. I have to just live in the best way I can, moment to moment.
Jess, I think something just hit me there that that's such an incredible thing to say, because I think whilst some people have cancer and live in that fear, other people have history or past experiences, or it's the same prison.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I agree. It's the same prison.
Prison's the right word.
Yeah,
it just comes wrapped in a different package, but it's the feeling and the experience of it's still the same.
Yeah. And I think in the past I was doing all of these things, and I was so just caught up in all of the things that I had to do to be well. But at the same time, I was kind of opting out of living a full life because I was so attached to everything I did. And I thought, okay, if I'm not doing all of these things, then I'm not going to be well. But I've that's where I'm at the moment. Just releasing attachment as much as possible to my diet, to my regime, and just doing what I'm called to do. Like, I've come to a place where nurturing myself and nourishing my body is second nature. I don't even think twice about what I put in my body because it's all good. I don't have to pay any attention to that. But what I do have to pay attention to is living fearlessly is the biggest thing, day to day, and doing things without fear is the motivator, but doing them with joy to be the motivator.
So what sort of things are they for you?
Sleeping in was a big one for me. Like, I thought I had to get up early and do all of these things in my morning. I thought I had to do oil pulling, clay drinking, meditating, coffee enemas, walking up Mount Coolum. I thought, if I don't do all of that before breakfast...
Wow.
Yeah.
Then you're not living a full life.
Yeah, my morning routine was epic. Yeah.
Your morning routine is most people's full day.
Yeah. And so and if I slept in, I felt guilty for it. I'd lie there and think, oh God, my body's not going to like this. But it's releasing attachment to that and sleeping in when I need to and allowing myself to feel emotions and just granting myself permission to do nothing as well. Like, constantly, I was always constantly doing something, whereas now I'm just being, and I can just go lie outside for an hour if I want to, and that's more productive than anything that I could be doing at my desk. Yeah.
That's a big call, because you were in a place of lots of doing and creating and making things happen because of, the following that you've created and the the role that you want to play in the world with what you've been through. So that's a big call for you to be able to disassociate or detach yourself from that, calling, if you like, to more of a soul calling of following what you feel like doing in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's big for most people anyway, to go from being a human doing to being a human being.
Yeah. And just giving yourself permission to do that, to just relax. I gotta remind myself daily, just chill out. Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yes, Carren needs that question answered.
Meditation.
I do need that question answered.
Most people don't like this answer, but meditation is the best way to get you there.
What sort of meditation do you do?
Well, I've toyed with a few different styles and genres over the years. In the beginning, I went to the Gawler Foundation and I learned mindfulness meditation at Ian Gawler's retreat. And I've done that for the past 4 years. So I started with 45 minutes 3 times a day and dreaded it. Counted down the time, just constantly my mind thinking about
Sure, that's what a lot of people think about meditation.
Yeah, dreaded it.
When you're having to do it, it's not meditation.
No, it's not. And now...
Especially if you dread it.
Yeah.
No point in that, is it?
I sat down and just wanted the time to pass. But now I meditate for 20 minutes at a time, twice or 3 times a day. At the moment, I'm doing 3 times a day because in the middle of the day, I just feel called to just go into my meditation room and do it. I find myself craving it. And it's a real joy to get to that place from previously dreading meditation to now craving it.
So what techniques do you use for meditation?
Still a combination of mindfulness, so just sitting down and just focusing on my breathing, focusing on any feelings that are in my body, letting any emotions that are there to come up. That's a big thing for me because I am one to suppress how I'm feeling and coat it in positivity. So meditation allows those feelings to come up. And so I sit there and I just listen to the sounds that are outside of the room, and then I'll go into a mantra. So either I'll use just the words let go and just meditate on that, or I have another mantra. I've started doing a little bit of like Vedic meditation, which is like TM, where you're given your own personal mantra that you repeat over and over again for 20 minutes. So yeah, I've been playing with that as well, and it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, amazing.
I learned TM years ago. I learned TM when I was pregnant with Taylor.
Yeah.
TM, for our listeners, is transcendental meditation.
Yes. And it's very good.
Very powerful.
I kind of, I don't know, blew it off for a little while thinking, I don't need that. Because you've got to pay to do transcendental meditation. I haven't paid for the full course yet. I've only done an online one.
It's about $1,500.
Yeah.
I did mine,
3 years
Yeah,
ago.
I
2 years
remember when
ago.
you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
very
did a
powerful.
refresher.
You can go back once you've done it. You can go to any refresher,
Right.
Because you get given a personal mantra that you don't tell anybody
Yes.
what it is.
So what's yours?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Tell us.
Talon and I have been trying to get our meditations, our mantras out of each other since we did them.
Danny and I did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I actually got it out of him. It's so fun, I got it out of him. And then he goes, and what's yours? And I went, not telling. And but you know what? I can't remember it. I can't remember what he told me. And I've never asked again because I felt like that was so sinful.
Yeah.
But I kind of got it.
It does.
Yeah.
No, it's like, I'm not telling anybody.
No.
Yeah.
It's funny that, isn't it? Because it's really not that big a deal,
No.
but it's something that is
sacred.
sacred.
Yeah.
And it is powerful because focusing on that mantra is just a very quick way of focusing your mind.
It also takes you down very quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Because you know you've got something to focus on.
Yeah, so that's where my meditation's at the moment, and it's the thing that is helping me most at this point in my journey. I've done so much physically that I feel like I don't really need to do a whole lot more physically. I mean, I'm playing with different diets. I'm now doing something called a ketogenic diet, which is no sugar, no grains, no carbs, lots of fat.
Actually,
Lots of fat.
I saw that Talon was eating something in front of you.
Oh yeah, raw lemon tart.
yeah.
Which is probably my favourite thing.
I saw he was, and I went, oh, he's so mean.
Yeah.
He's so mean to do that to you. I said, you
How long is this for?
Well, it was supposed to be 30 days, and I just reached the 30 days the other day, and I thought I feel really good. So I'm just going to keep going with it for a little while until I feel called to introduce something. I think I'm going to stay away from grains, though.
We all did that after doing the protocol together.
Yeah.
We all
I
stopped
hardly
grains.
touch any grain now.
And I got to admit, you have a really good colour about you, and you're looking really good.
Yeah, my skin is cleared up also because of your skincare.
Yeah.
P.S. So good. That healing skincare.
That healing
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, no, that stuff
Yeah.
is a miracle.
Yep.
That is my one product that I'm so proud of.
Yeah, so good. But yeah, I've lost a little bit of weight. Not that I needed to lose weight, but I've just noticed my body seems to like this diet, and that just proves that fat doesn't make you fat because basically all I'm eating is fat.
Really? So what are you eating?
We'll have chia pudding for breakfast made on almond milk, and then for lunch I have eggs with vegetables, with avocado cooked in coconut oil, and then for dinner. I have a salad, like a big salad with veggies, sometimes a bit of salmon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
She's
Told you.
turning to the dark side.
Releasing attachment. Yeah, it's been interesting, and it's been an interesting process. Cutting out the foods that I'm so used to eating, because I was so used to eating so many potatoes and so much sugar, or natural sugars, but so much sugar, and oats.
Do you have any treats? What's your treat?
Oh, the thing that's been saving me is I make this little thing after every meal, because I have to eat dessert after every meal. Yeah, that's my thing. I make up almond butter, creamed coconut, which is like a Loving Earth brand.
Oh my
creamed
gosh.
coconut, so good. And cacao powder, and I mix it all together to make like a chocolatey paste, and then I put some frozen berries in it.
Yeah, no.
And it sets it like a chocolate.
Yeah, that's so divine.
So good.
Almond butter is
I'm
such
looking
a
at my phone.
treat.
Yeah.
So what have we got here? We've got almond butter.
Almond butter,
Cacao
powder, creamed coconut. It's so good.
And you know what? You could use the cacao wafers because there's more fat in the wafers. The powders have got no
You
fat.
got the cocoa butter.
Because the cacao wafers are 100% cacao.
Right.
It's just been as a slight roasting, and then it's tempered.
Yeah.
So I should bring you around a pack
that
so
would
you
be
can
great.
play with it.
Yeah.
Because you want the fat, because this is the whole idea of this ketogenic
Lots of
diet.
fat, yeah.
is to have fat.
The idea behind it is that you want to starve the cancer cells. So you want to your body's first. Well, you know this. Your body's first point of fuel is carbs.
Yeah.
So you stop eating the carbs. Your body has to feed on fat. Cancer cells don't feed on fat; they die. So that's the smarts behind it. Yeah.
Do you know, it was really interesting. I was, not that long ago, I was in Manly in Sydney, And I noticed there was a lot of suits hanging around the hotel. And, you know, you're on the beach, and I'm thinking, I wonder who these people are. You know, I wonder what they're doing. So I happened to get into the elevator with one of the suits. And I said, so what's happening in this hotel with all these suits? And he said, oh, we're a bunch of neurologists, and we're having a conference on epilepsy. And I went straight for the jugular. I went, so are you discussing diet? And he said, no, not at this conference. And I said, but you do use diet, don't you, to help your patients, because it's the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Completely fat and protein, all carbs gone. Yeah. And he said, yes, and it works. When the medications don't work, the ketogenic diet works. But who would want to eat that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he said to me. That's what he said to me. And I went, what right do you have to determine whether somebody wants to eat that or not, as opposed to taking drugs for their epilepsy? But they know the ketogenic diet works for epilepsy because, once again, sugar, the brain starts to use ketones as opposed to sugar. Yeah. And when it's using ketones, it doesn't have the same effects, and I like go, you know,
explain that. Yeah. But the brain uses ketones.
Well, the brain, when there's no sugar available. So think about the hunter-gatherer. He had to have ways of surviving when there was no fruit around and no vegetables around, because the Inuits ate, let's say, the blubber diet. That all they ate was seals and blubber. They had no greenery. They had nothing. So then the body's got to figure out, well, what can I use apart from glucose? And so it uses ketones, which is from protein. And basically the brain loves to eat those. But we've just turned into a carbohydrate eating society. And we've overgone. Like we don't have our seasonal differences. So in the winter we would have more of fat and meat and foods like that. In the summer we would have our fruits and veggies and grains, and everything was there. But we don't have our seasonal eating anymore. So our body goes into eating too much sugar, and then cancer is fed by sugar.
Loves it. Yeah.
It just absolutely loves it. Yeah. So look, I love what you're doing, Jess. I think, you know, I think Gerson was where it was for you at that point in time.
Yep.
You needed that.
Yeah.
And now you're listening and becoming intuitive to what your body needs, and you're evolving. Like all of us should be evolving. Like I watch Carren through her dietary changes. Yeah. We do watch her.
I'm decent.
She is a work in progress.
I am a work in progress.
She is a work in progress. Yep. She is. Yes.
Princess in progress.
Yeah. Princess in progress.
The other thing that I think,
I'm a queen.
Things like Gerson do for you is create what I think is lacking very much, and that's discipline.
Yes.
And I really believe that for all of us, because it's almost like once we hit adulthood, we almost think we can go and do what parents told us we couldn't have that when we were young. Now we can. And I think that lack of discipline is where people lose themselves, and they don't know who they are anymore, and they've got no... So as much as you think getting up at that 4 o'clock in the morning and doing that routine has created such a sense of discipline that has now allowed you to become more...
Relaxed.
Without
doing damage.
But even relaxation is a discipline.
Yeah.
I think even relaxation is a discipline.
Yeah.
Self-care is a discipline. Yeah. Time out is a discipline.
But I can relax on my diet now, and it's not damaging. Like I'm relaxed, but I'm still so healthy. Yeah. Like I eat whatever I want to eat. Really, I'm on this new diet, and it's taken me 30 days to like it, because we're creatures of habit, and it generally takes 30 days to get used to something. But now that I'm used to it, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah.
I think that's an amazing point that you've kind of honed in on there. And my dad used to say something similar, but I can't quite remember what it was. I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain, but it's through discipline comes the most freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah, because you think you're free before you're disciplined, but actually you're not. You're trapped.
Yeah,
you're trapped in emotional eating. You're trapped in a mindset that's just self-destructive. You're actually trapped. And then through, obviously, your circumstances, you became disciplined. You had to be, which has now given you all the freedom that you could possibly want. And you actually are free. Yeah. Because now the choices that you're making are choices that are the choices that every human being should actually be making for themselves in order to live a fulfilled, a happy, healthy, well experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what's your intention with what comes next for you? What's your intentions for the world? What's your intentions for yourself?
I don't really have like a long-term plan. Never have. I've kind of just done whatever I'm called to do in the next moment and been amazed at how it's unfolded. So that's what I'm continuing to do. I mean, I want to write more books. I want to do more speaking. I want to just continue to spread the message that I have in me at the moment, in the moment. I don't know what that looks like.
So what have you got out right now that our listeners can... Because no doubt at the end of this podcast, our listeners are furiously going to look you up.
Yeah.
So what have you got, and where can they find you, and what are you doing? Because we've also got the TV, so don't forget that.
Right. So I've got my blog, so jessainscough.com. Got to get used to saying that.
So, and spell that.
Yes, JESSAINSCOUGH.com. And so that's my blog where I write my blog posts, and we've got Wellness Warrior TV on there. And then I've got an ebook, like a starter kit and 10-day cleanse. And then I've got my actual book. So Make Peace With Your Plate is now a real life book that you can buy. And that's out through Hay House, but you can buy it in bookstores and you can buy it online. And I've also got a coaching program. So I've got an online coaching program called the Lifestyle Transformation Guide. And that was born from my previous one-on-one coaching practice that I've turned into a virtual online format where people can sign up and be coached by me in a group setting and through a virtual online membership site. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Can I ask you just one other thing? Do you ever have bad days?
In what way?
Anyway.
Yes.
Like food, mindset,
Food, no.
relationships. Okay, so there's a non-negotiable around food.
Yeah, food is just... There's no question. I eat 100% organic food 100% of the time. Even when I'm out, if I can't get it, I go without.
Isn't that wonderful when you get to that point?
Yeah.
That there is a non-negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable. I respect, and I don't do so now because I'm scared of what will happen if I don't do it. I do it because I'm aware of what the food is, and I'm aware of the effect it has on my body and how it affects the way I feel. And I respect my body so much that I don't want to put crap into it. So that's a non-negotiable for me. And I also am so passionate about organic food becoming more widely available. So that's where I want to spend my dollars. I'm voting with my fork and my dollars there.
Can I just butt in there? Did you hear what she said? Respect for my body. You've learnt a lot, you know, considering where you were at 22, where you had no respect.
Yeah.
So people can gain that.
Absolutely.
And I'd go as far as saying you were quite a tart.
Really? She could have matched you.
Really? But I don't even think I was that bad.
But the other thing too that I love what you say there is that oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought, and it was so cool.
Sorry.
No. It was about
Respect for your body.
Respect for your body, and that if you can't get organic food when you're out, you go without. And I love that because it's okay to go without a meal. We won't die.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You're not going to die. And Pete Evans talks about this. Why is it that people can go 8 hours through the night sleeping and not food, but if they get on an aeroplane, they can't go a 2-hour flight without eating the food that is served to them?
I know.
Excuse me, just say no.
I know.
Well, you don't have to eat.
No.
Or pack your own.
Yeah,
It's a
take your own.
point.
This is for emotional eaters, for people who eat for emotional reasons.
Yeah.
When the emotional hunger hits, it's unrelenting, and it's got you by the throat, and you're not, like there's no escape from it. But this is where I think what you've just said there is so powerful, because we won't actually die if we don't feed that need in the moment. We'll be okay, and if we make the choice to put really good stuff in our body, then we're uber cool.
Yeah.
I think that's the shizzle.
Yeah, definitely. But I do have bad days. I mean, emotionally, I have bad days.
Are you a tart? Are you awful? Are you mean? Are you a princess?
I can
Are you a rock
be.
star?
I can be a brat, a massive brat.
Have you read her recent blog where she did like an anger burst?
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
Talon ran for his life.
Talon ran for his life. Seems to be the one that cops the force
Our loved
of
ones
my-
usually are.
of my brattiness.
How
But
would you feel, Jess, if we had a television camera on you in those moments when you're losing it and it went out on the Wellness Warrior TV?
God.
Yeah.
Talon always says that to me. He says, if only your viewers could see you now. And I'm
Oh, what a weapon that is.
Why'd you do that? Oh. Yeah, think you're really good now. Imagine if all those women could see you now. They wouldn't think you were so self-caring about anything now, would they? That's what I get. They throw it right back at you.
Yeah, definitely have bad days, and I'm learning to allow myself to have them more and more. I mean, in the beginning I thought, oh, if I have a bad day, I can't have a bad thought because a bad thought will feed the cancer.
Oh my God.
And now I'm learning that it's okay to do that because it's releasing these emotions that I subconsciously suppress. I've learned that I harbour a lot of anger that I didn't recognise before. So learning how to get that out, that's where I'm at the moment. That's a big thing for me to learn.
How have you coped with your mum going?
That's one of the things that I've been suppressing. I think I don't know. I thought I think I've coped with it pretty well, but I feel like there is a lot of anger there. I think there's obviously a lot of sadness that I haven't suppressed. I mean, I allow myself to cry, I allow that to get out, but I think the anger and the feeling of injustice that is just started to come out because I've thought, okay, I need to look at the bigger picture and I need to all of that kind of stuff that I know to be true, and I haven't allowed myself to ever say this just isn't fair, and I haven't allowed myself to go there, but I'm starting to now.
I also, you said something that your mum passing actually made you think differently. And, you know, I look at things so differently now, and I realise that what they can give you in life, they can give you in death as well, and maybe even more powerfully. And I don't know if I'm right or I'm wrong or I'm putting words in your mouth here, but I don't know if you would have done the ketogenic diet if your mum may not have passed. And maybe this is your journey, Jess, and this is what your mum needed to teach you in your journey. And I know that it's hard as a young girl to go, but couldn't I have learned it easier? Now. Yeah. Why do I have to have cancer and learn this stuff? Yeah. Why couldn't I have done it without this? Yeah. But, you know,
it is what it is. That's it. And that's I've had that knowing through this whole thing, even when it was really shitty. And I've had some very, very tough times over the past 6 months, and even in those really dark times, I've had the reassurance that it is what it is, and it's happening because it's supposed to happen. That's the reality of it all.
Carren always says everything's perfect.
Everything is perfect. Even when it's shitty, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's how I get myself through this. That's how I'm able to get up and to do the work that I do every day, because I've got that inner knowing that everything is perfect and everything is as it is supposed to be. We can't dictate how things are supposed to be. There's a bigger thing play.
A bigger force at play here, and we talk about that a lot. And I always feel in your presence that there is a huge plan for you. And it's 4 million visits in how long?
4 years. Yeah.
It's just, that's a lot of people.
Looking,
searching, trying to find a thought leader, and that most people are looking for thought leaders, and you are a thought leader, and you write. In my way of thinking, you write your thoughts.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And so don't, we said in the beginning, I don't think be stopped by those thoughts. If this is what's coming out, and don't let people who I want to, do that to you.
Without judgment.
I'm not judging.
She's just stating a fact.
I'm just stating a fact.
No, but I think it's an important point. It's a really important point, because sometimes when we're expressing our innermosts, and you've chosen to express your innermost in a very public way, and that's just part of your path.
Yeah.
It's almost like that in and of itself is a calling, and you've just answered it, really.
Yeah.
But there are those that are outside of that feel that it's their role to pass judgment and pass criticism on your answering of your calling. And I just want to say to those people, get back in your box chocolate Because it's not your business.
Yeah.
It's not your business.
Yeah.
It's nobody's business to have criticism on somebody else's answering of their calling. Why don't we all just get behind each other and answer our own frickin' calling and get out of everybody else's business and allow us all to be who we need to be?
Yeah.
Because
so that then
they're
the world
charged
can
on
be
fear, though, aren't they?
Well,
They're thinking by imparting their opinion, by putting someone else down, is actually saving their tribe or their community or their thoughts or their beliefs.
Well, where's the education in that?
But they are well educated in their opinion.
Sure, but then go out and answer their own calling and educate their own tribe with their own message.
But
we don't need to put others down
I know,
in
but
order
these people will think by doing that they are doing the right thing by their tribe. And so therefore are we now judging them for wanting to do their calling, what they believe is their calling? I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, it's a very good point that you raise, but I still feel in the heart of hearts is get back in your box chocolate.
I think we're all in that same boat.
Because you look at somebody like Jess, whose whole life is just about making a difference to people. Her whole life is about moving the hearts and minds of people, and it comes from the most genuine place.
Yeah.
And for somebody to have something to say about that is the greatest crime. Really. I could punch him out. I could. Because I just think you're just doing what is the most natural thing for you to do by helping others and by sharing your own personal journey, and them that wants to follow will follow. And I think that's what makes what you do so beautiful and so innocent and so powerful and so transformational for people. I just can't bear the thought that somebody would have something negative to say about that.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Obviously it moves me and it upsets me.
But what I've learnt from you, Carren, is
I'm
that
very soft at the moment.
Yeah, you are very
Goodness
soft.
me.
But what I learned from
The
Carren,
third week in a row I've cried.
yes, it is.
We like it. It's quite nice.
Really?
But what I've learnt from you is it's not about Jess. It's about them. It's about their insecurities and inadequacies that propel them. I've never seen Jess take anybody to task.
No.
And search them
phased.
out and look through their blogs and find one small thing that you can pick on them about.
Good heavens, who's got the energy to
Who's
do
got
that?
the energy to do that? You know what? It's not actually about you.
No.
It's actually all about those people that are doing that. And they're I don't think give them any energy.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this. Do not give
to
people
learn
that
from
energy.
them, though.
It is good to learn from
Learn how to
them.
contain those emotions.
Yes.
And not take it out on Talon when you get home. I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Who inspires you?
Who? Cyndi.
Beautiful.
Cindy's like my mentor, I guess. Because I look at you and you're just so ballsy and you got so much criticism and you just respond to it so beautifully. And I just admire it so much. So yeah, Cyndi. And then people like Chris Carr. Yeah, love her. Same thing, just blazing a trail and not caring about what people think. And yeah, making a difference. And my mum has always inspired me. Just, gosh, how non-judgmental she is and was, and just how much...
She had spunk, your
She
mum.
did. She was just had so much spunk. And she continues to teach me so much.
And she was your greatest supporter.
Oh, God, yeah.
She just was
Her and my
amazing.
dad. My
Yeah.
dad reads everything I write, every comment that's written about me, everything.
Does he?
Oh, yeah. Biggest fan. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
bless him.
He's beautiful.
Yeah. And my dad inspires me. I mean, he's 60 years old and he's making green smoothies every morning, gets up and exercises every morning.
And he's doing coffee enemas too.
He does coffee enemas. If we kill a week to say this. He's growing wheatgrass at the moment. He's
Look at him.
You know what it
He's
is?
a rough and tumble Aussie guy too, isn't he?
Coming from a place, he still drinks his beers, he still eats his meat. Like, he's still a typical Aussie guy, but he's embraced all of these things that we've had to learn along this journey, and he doesn't question anything I do. He's coming along to Brian Weiss with me on the weekend. He's just amazing. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
And tell me what Talon's done to you and been for you in your life. How long have you been together now? And how did you get back together, and how did you know?
We've been together for 5 years, over 5 years now. But yeah, we met when we were 19. And then when I moved back to the Sunshine Coast, I ended up breaking up with the boyfriend that I was with in Sydney, and pretty much got with Talon straight away.
You just knew?
We just knew. We were friends. We stayed in contact the whole time that I was away. We were really close friends. And then just started hanging out again and just got back together.
Then became friends with benefits?
Yeah.
Well, you know what blows me away about Talon is that he was with you through that 2 years that you were virtually in your home.
Yes.
I love that blog. I remember the blog where you showed the parameters of your life. You know, where you showed your room and this is where I do this. And I when you told me that you had a beau, I went, oh my gosh, he must be a special man. I hadn't met Talon at this stage. I thought he must be a really special man. That he you couldn't go out drinking, you couldn't go out partying, you couldn't go out dancing. No. He had to spend time with you in your home for 2 years.
Yeah, and he didn't do any of that either. I mean, when I changed, he changed. Mm-hmm. And we hadn't even been dating a year when I was re-diagnosed, and we both went down to the Gawler Foundation together and we did the 10-day program. And I mean, he was thrown into all of this. We were still quite young. I think we were 25, 24. Something like that.
That's massive, isn't it?
So, this is like you're my children's age, and I just can't.
That's massive. And he just came along for the ride, and just is amazing. I mean, we've had a few moments where we've cried together and all of that, but he doesn't show me that he's scared of this. He doesn't show me that he's scared of what could happen. It's just always, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, whatever happens. And just having that reassurance is just amazing. Yeah.
How old are you now?
28.
Of course you are.
29 this year.
28. Oh my gosh. That's just perfect. That's perfect.
Well, they say at the age of 28 is when we physiologically start aging, maturing and changing. So things... it's not so much you're on the downhill slide from 28.
Right, Kim.
Fantastic.
She's on double that, Millie.
I'm excited. It's also
really
exciting, return, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a massive one.
What is it?
I don't know a lot about that, but I've heard that so much recently.
What is it? Saturn return. I don't know a whole lot about it either, but it's like around 27, 28, 29. I don't really want to go into it because I don't know much about it, but big things happen. And you learn a lot of lessons.
Well, Dr. Mark Postles talks about this, not so much in the Saturn return, but in the cycle, 7-year cycles. Yeah. And there's a big one around 28. 28 is a massive thing. Also, from when we are born, we have different biorhythms. So intellectually, it's every 33 days. Right. Physically, it's every 23 days. But emotionally, it's every 28 days. And that's why I named our brand 28, because smell is so closely linked to our emotions. Yeah. Now, I usually tell people it's because skin cells take 28 days to renew themselves. We physiologically age at 28 days to create a habit. But the essence of it, and because smell is so closely linked to emotions, I just thought it was fascinating that the biorhythm cycle for emotions is every 28 days. So often we'll look at it and think that it's around, for women it's on their period. I've got my period again. Yeah. But you might be surprised to learn that it's actually around that 28 biorhythmic cycle that's actually having an effect on you. So I just think where you're at right now is probably one of the most expressive times of your life as far as your mission, your purpose, and what you're about to impart on the world on another whole level again. You've got a following that's growing, and as it's growing, it's multiplying even quicker. As we know, once you hit that tipping point, it's just evolving, and you are a trailblazer for all of us. You are I mean, I still have a vision that we'll all be on stage together with
Absolutely.
your younger generation and us older girls.
Yeah.
I do.
You older girl.
Honey, you're 2 years younger than me. Come on.
It's enough. 2 years? I mean,
So what are you?
most will be 20.
So what are you? The aunt, are you? The aunt or the great aunt
Of
Jess?
sister. Was there a question?
Oh
Aunt Schmart.
I thought you were the aunt of the dogs.
The aunt of the dogs.
Yes.
That would be right.
Yes, I thought so.
Yeah.
Sister.
Is there anything else that you think that would be a lovely final parting message for our beautiful listeners?
Oh.
Something you think they should know. Something that they could take from you as a nugget of gold into the rest of their days so that they always remember you.
Do a coffee enema.
I'm looking at you thinking she's going to come out with something
They will never forget you when they change their coffee
But
habit.
it's so much more than what the coffee enema does. It gives you time to yourself. You get time to read. You get time to just lie in there and do nothing for half an hour. There's so many things that come from it. It's not just about the coffee enema. It's about allowing yourself that time to yourself to do nothing.
Jess, I'm going to put a challenge out to you.
Yeah.
My challenge to you within this year is to get an enema up her. Get one on
it'll
her.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might
Could
not
you take
happen overnight.
photos?
Oh, and let's show everybody.
Yes, we could put it on up for a chat.
I think you people are on drugs. Delusional. No.
On that note,
On that note,
on that coffee note,
on that coffee note, look, I was going to say I'm open, but I don't know that I am.
You are.
I don't know.
Come on, do
I
it.
don't know. I don't know.
I know I was going to end with something profound, but no, that's it. Yeah.
It's amazing what will come out when something's stuck up there.
Yeah.
As in what will come out of the experience, I mean. Not what will come out. I mean what, yeah.
It's just getting worse.
I'm thinking,
Give it a
wrap it up.
Give it a crack, Carren. You're so funny.
Shut the back door.
I plan to.
Oh my gosh, you two. Oh, you are hilarious. She doesn't even know what to come back with. You got nothing to come back with.
I feel like I need to go rock in a shower.
With water on you.
Yeah. I need to go sing myself to sleep in a shower. Jess, this has been just amazing, so insightful, so beautiful, so moving, and it's been such a treat to spend the last hour or 2 hours with you. It's been 2 hours.
It's a double episode.
It took up so much time.
Double episode, but you're worth it.
Thank you.
You're well and truly worth it. And I hope that our listeners all look you up and, follow you ferociously because there's so much inspiration and value to be gained. So thank you for sharing so much time with us and for sharing from your heart and your experiences. For all of our listeners, if you want to find Jess, make sure that you go to her website, which is jessainscough.com. Yep. And if you go to the wellnesswarrior.com, that will also take
.com.au.
That
will take you there too. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Love Instagram with you.
You do
I'm on
Pinterest?
Pinterest. Yeah. Instagram's my fave.
You
That's where I like to hang out the most.
Same.
Yeah, I noticed that. You're always there, and you've got some.
Oh, yeah.
great shots.
Posting pictures of my dogs.
And the chickens.
And my chickens.
I think we need a picture of the chicken chase.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm with you. I want to see the bloopers.
Oh, the bloopers would be hilarious. So don't forget to post your comments on this podcast for us as well. We're really, really keen to get your feedback and your thoughts in terms of Jess's journey. And, you know, if you know Jess, if she's inspired you, what your thoughts are, where your journey's taken you with regards to her love and support. So go to our website, go to our Facebook page at allthews.facebook.com/up for a chat and post your comments. You can also post your comments right on the Wellness Couch, which is allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/up for a chat. And there's a whole bunch of noise going on right here. So join us here next week on Up for a Chat and become part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We're going to see you on the ride.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.